Time magazine had a cover about 2 weeks ago, a feature article on the cover with the question, should students be paid to learn? Well, this is a very intriguing question, but the answer is simple. No, they should not be paid to learn. The idea that students be paid to learn uh, is actually violating the fundamental principle of education, which is that the innate desire to learn is in every child. If you pay them to learn, you have just paid out that innate desire. They're learning because they're paid, not because they have any great sense of curiosity, of a desire to learn things, to be knowledgeable, to become competent. None of those things will result if you pay students. I do think that the important point that I need to make is that it's not necessarily easy to solve the problems in schools today. That students don't want to learn, that they have low test scores, that they have low grades. This is all very obvious. I do believe that the answers are also going to include having very good teachers in the classrooms, increasing pay for teachers, giving them incentives, paying the teachers more, certainly eliminating those teachers on the staff who really don't want to teach, are not naturally born teachers, and are not motivating the kids. All of these things are very important. But what intrigues me about this story is that they're looking at a scientific approach to paying students. They've gone through a very expensive process in determining whether paying students will improve test scores and grades. Well, I knew it would help. I knew that the students would start to do better, but it cost about $9 million to find this out. The scientific basis for their conclusions, I'm all for that as well. What I'm suggesting is that if we've come to the point where we want a fresh approach to the problems in the schools, if we're looking for a new way to address these low test scores and these poor grades, yes, by all means, let's look at the scientific research. Because when you consider the Transcendental Meditation technique, there are literally mountains of scientific evidence to show the effectiveness of TM with students, with learning, with school environments, with improving all these things and doing it relatively easily and relatively at low cost. I would say that TM's approach has the individual student very much in mind. It addresses their core issues, and it does have the effect of increasing the clarity of thought, the stability of their emotions, and most importantly, their energy. It decreases their stress, their negativity, their blood pressure, and their tension. But in short, and most importantly, it brings peace and happiness to the lives of students that no other resource can provide. Paying students will ultimately take away, not add to a student's feelings of fulfillment, happiness, and peace. TM taps that reservoir of creativity, intelligence, and joy that is innate in every single child and in every single student. Of all the things that can impede, block, or inhibit a child's motivation to learn, fear is the greatest. Fear of failure, fear of inadequacy, fear of the learning environment, fears that have been absorbed over time through all kinds of challenges, deprivations, and even abuse and neglect that the child has faced. TM removes fear, sometimes quickly, sometimes gradually, in all the students who practice the technique twice a day. How do I know this? I have experienced in my own life what I'm talking about. I started TM in 1974 when I was 18 years old. I had it through most of college and all of my graduate studies years. I only wish I might have learned TM sooner. Where have I seen it? Well, I've seen it in Fairfield, Iowa, at the Maharishi School of the Age of Enlightenment, where I taught history for 9 years. Only in the United States, you say, where the students often come from affluent backgrounds? No, I've seen it in South Africa among the poorest students in the entire country. I saw the looks of pain, suffering, and defeat on the students' faces disappear after learning TM. I taught them too, and they were among the very best students I had in a 30-year teaching career. I encourage everyone concerned about the current state of our educational system to consider TM as the best approach available. A good way to start would be to learn TM yourself. That is the best way. And see the difference that it makes in your own lives. The filmmaker, the very famous filmmaker David Lynch, did. And he is now trying to help bring TM to schools around the world. He is doing this through the David Lynch Foundation. You can Google that if you like, and there will be information available. Yes, it's time for a bold new approach in education. But what I'm suggesting is to try a bold, old approach. TM has been around for thousands of years. It's time we rediscovered it.